shall I put this clip?
Yep.
Oh, it's so nice from here.
Yep.
Long reserve for hotel guest only. What the fuck is this? It's clickbait. Come on.
At your own risk.
Rum on board. Add that to any of our sodas and you get yourself some nice mixed cocktails. I recommend adding the rum to a ginger beer to make it dark.
What bridge is that one over there?
Might just be
Not
their
sure.
exhaust.
He's gonna tell
The
us.
coolant for the, yeah, they're sucking up seawater running through their exchange. We're actually going to pass like 60
smells
mega
great.
yachts today,
Yep.
so that's,
Whatever that is.
I mean, enjoy that one, but you're going to see some much bigger ones, and they happen really fast. Until 2085.
You think this
They
one
are
was the other
steeped
New
in
York
some
license
tradition
plates
there.
with
I'll tell you what,
the...
New York Yacht Club did put forward a team this past year in the effort to win the America's Cup back and bring it back to Newport. They failed. Our team, called American Magic, was the first one eliminated. Aww, so sad. We had catastrophic failure of the yacht. Made of carbon fiber and a hydrofoiling boat. Great big hole opened up in the side. If you're not familiar with how boats work, the water came rushing in. That's kind of the opposite of a boat at that point. You've made a reef. They towed it back to shore. They thought they could drop out of a few races and then come back after they'd effected repairs. They could not. It ended up being the Worcestershire sauce. It's just so stupid it has to be true. House is now condominiums. Converted to condos. There's 13 of them in the main house, and then a bunch more condos were built on the property behind. The developer promised the city if he was allowed to build more condos on the property, he would build them, and I quote, in keeping with the architectural heritage of the main house. And as you look, you can see what a liar he was. Here's the house I like down here. If I was to own a house in the harbor, I would want this one. With its own private dock, this adorable little place called Aloha Landing was built for Arthur Curtis James, a guy who had a 250-foot bark-rigged sailing yacht called Aloha. He did not have waterfront property, so he got his across-the-street neighbor who owned a Scottish castle to give him a 15-foot wide, 300-foot long easement down to where he could build a boathouse. Wow. The rest of his property matches that sort of Swiss village architectural style. It's across the street, not visible from the water. That replica of a Swiss village still exists today. Wheels fold up. You need to drive around in your boat. Get close to land again, you press the button again, the wheels fold down. Drive up onto the beach. Very James Bond. Oh, if you could make it fly, that'd be even better. Could be Herbie the Love Bug, too. One of those. I probably flew in one of those, right? Remember him jumping. Yeah. Flubber could do anything you wanted to. Oh, that's your cut-off point?
With the pillars.
I know.
Now up on the hill above us, a massive house. Built in a Greek revival style. This is the biggest place we're going to see today. This enormous estate called Beacon Rock was built for J.P. Morgan's cousin, who listened to the advice that J.P. gave him about what stocks to buy when and what stocks to sell when. Insider trading indeed. But it wasn't illegal back then. It's illegal now because stuff like that kept happening. Up until that stopped happening, then, you know, it wasn't a big... If you need more information, I refer you to Martha Stewart. She could sort it all out for you. She didn't make that kind of money, and she ended up in jail, the poor lady. Well, I don't mean like as in financially poor. I mean, she made poor choices. Oh yeah, she's doing okay. The fact of the matter is she only did it to stop losing $60,000, which seems like should have been a drop in the bucket. Instead she ended up spending time in the pokey, the who's gal. Yeah, that gives you an idea of the scale. It's pretty big. Fort is now a state park. You can tour it. It hosts all sorts of things from weddings and corporate parties to our jazz and folk festivals. We're coming up on our right, one of those young sailors in one of those little boats.
How's everyone doing up here? Okay?
And along there in the little motorboat.
Look at this big one. It looks old. It looks like in a Pirates of the Caribbean.
We'll see more of them in a little bit. There's a whole bunch of them over by Rhode Island. Now on our left-hand side, we have a big, tall ship called the Oliver Hazard Perry.
This one.
Oliver Hazard Perry is a 200-foot-long, 3-masted square-rigged brigantine with a singular mission. It's a sailing school.
Oh.
Yep, it teaches new generations how to rig and sail big old boats like this.
Looks like South Street Seaport, the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And this fort is pretty big.
My mother.
Did you?
Yeah, we can go
I
there.
think I do.
For some people it's a lot of fun. Not for me though. I did it once. We paid for the 5 haunted house pass. I saw the first haunted house, and at the end of it we were chased by a clown with a chainsaw, and I was dumb. Like, no! Your friends were like, stop being a sissy. I'm like, I'm not a sissy, I'm a coward. Get it right. What's that? Well, yeah, it was a real chainsaw. It was running. It didn't have a chain on it, I'm sure, but just the clown enough was freaky enough for me. I don't know if you've seen American Horror Story.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the one where the guy was...
That's like a walkway.
That was that
Yeah.
clown. It was too scary. I gave away my other 4 tickets. I was like, no. Everyone have fun. I'm just going to sit here and have a beer. Got married in Newport at St. Mary's Catholic Parish. Came out here by motorcade where 1,500 guests were arranged on that lawn. Congratulate the newlyweds on their nuptials. And this place used to be open to the public for tours. You go out there and see where Jackie slept and all that. Then in 1998, the nonprofit operating it ran out of money to keep up with the house, the grounds, and the animals. They sold it back into private hands, purchased by the heir to the fruit of the loom fortune. Yeah. Underpants money, that's where the real cash is at. You thought Worcestershire sauce money was good? Yeah, I got nothing on underpants money. I mean, everyone's got at least 2 pair of underpants. On our right-hand side, we've got a schooner. And another schooner. And a bunch of yachts. Wow, that's not too shabby. And then on our left, we're going to pass the house with the best outdoor living space in town. And I know you do. It's a law. We're good. We had a speakeasy in downtown Newport called Billy Goods that was next door to the police station. It took out weekly ads in the newspaper for their drink specials. Yeah, we thought that was a dumb law. Our police chief would give reports back and be like, you have to check out that speakeasy called Billy Goods. I was there yesterday. I had lunch. I didn't notice anything going on. He was in on it. Now we're coming up on my favorite spot for sunset and cocktails. These white Adirondack chairs on the lawn are part of a seating section for a restaurant called the Inn at Castle Hill. You come out to Castle Hill, this seating section. Hard to get into, but if you can get reservations, I highly recommend it. Here's my advice though, if you come down here and have sunset and cocktails in those chairs, every adult member of your party needs to order at least 2 adult beverages. Trust me on this number. It is the second one, in my experience, that takes the edge off when your bill comes. Without the second one, you're going to feel some stuff. None of it good. Castle Hill. Yeah, it was built by a guy named Alexander Agassiz. It was his house. He lived here quite happily. He was from South, used by the U.S. Coast Guard as a channel marker for the Narragansett Bay. Lights up red at night. If you look next to the lighthouse, you'll see stairs carved into the stone.
Oh, yeah.
Those stairs were carved there when they built this lighthouse. The owner of Castle Hill allowed them to build the lighthouse on his property, but he would not let them cross his property to build it. So they carved those stone stairs right into the rock, tied up their barge there every day, and used those stairs as they worked on building the lighthouse. I'm going to spin the boat around and head back up to Narragansett Bay. So we do off the left-hand side, way over there. That was built for the Wharton family of Philadelphia, the same family that founded the Wharton School of Business. Yeah. That house, I've had dinner with the family there because I'm fancy. Yeah, I'm not fancy. You know that. We've seen that.
That's why
Definitely not fancy. But I did have dinner there 3 years ago now. Dan Wright is the owner of the house. He's a direct descendant of the Wharton family from Philadelphia. His grandmother was a Wharton by birth, a Wright by marriage. And that dome on top of the house is an outdoor room like a gazebo. And here's the craziest fact about that dome. It is the 3rd largest freestanding dome in North America. The largest is our nation's capital. The 2nd largest is the Rhode Island capital. And the 3rd largest is the dumb gazebo on top of that house. King Tut's 2. And the first person out with souvenirs. Yeah! She stole a bunch of stuff from King Tut's 2. Ava Alice Astor. At the time, she was married to Prince Sergei Obolensky-Moletsky. He was one of the 13 people involved in assassinating Rasputin to hopefully avoid the October Revolution. The family had a lot of weird connections. Serge Obolensky went on to frequent a bar at the top of the Hotel Astor in Manhattan and was officially attributed with inventing the modern Bloody Mary by adding Tabasco to it. Saying he liked it, but it needed a little kick. But that whole thing was funded by rich people. Rich people like Ava Alice Astor. And so yeah, when she got there, they were like, yeah, this is where it's at, this is what we found. She was the first woman to walk inside, the first one to walk out with a jewel-encrusted gold scarab that for the rest of her life she always wore on her body, whether it was on a hat or on her lapel or whatever. She always wore that brooch. Yep, she was naughty, but she was a weird one. Vincent was the useful one. When he died, in fact, he gave everything to charity.
Oh, wow.
When Vincent Astor passed away, he left his third wife, Brooke Astor, in charge of the Vincent Astor Foundation, and left every last thing the Astor family had to that foundation. Over the course of Brooke's, he was rich. Now we're coming up on my second favorite house in the world.
This one.
Of the ones I've seen,
There's some people
I'm
on top. There's a guy
sure your
on top.
houses are lovely, and as soon as you invite me over and we have drinks, I'll get you on the list. But until then, you're not on.
There are a
My
few
favorite
people
house
on
in the
top.
south of France in a tiny town called Ez. It's on the Many Corniche between Nice and Monaco.
There are
You
two
should go.
people
It's lovely.
in that house.
This is my second favorite house, called Clingstone. It was built for J.S. Loverling Wharton, another one of the Wharton brothers. Apparently when he drove up to this house aboard his yacht, he stood on the bow, looked at the house and said, "That is one peach of a house."
Oh, yeah.
His favorite varietal of peach being the Clingstone peach. That's what he named the house. The house is massive. Doesn't look very big from here, but it's 28 rooms, 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, 8 fireplaces, and totally self-sufficient. The current family that owns the house bought it in 1967. They are the Wood family of Boston. Henry Wood, the patriarch of the family, was a young architect just getting started with a firm up in Boston, and they sent him down to Newport to meet with one of their clients about what the client wanted for renovations to their Bellevue Avenue home. As they took him out on the yacht and cruised around the Narragansett Bay, he saw this house with a bed sheet nailed to the outside with a hand-painted sign that said "For Sale" and a phone number. Henry, intrigued, because he was an architect, was like, "I wonder what that place is all about." He called the phone number. A guy answered and was like, "Oh, you're interested in the house? Well, if you'd like to see it, I'll show you around." So he took the ferry from Newport over to Jamestown, where the guy met him on the dock, and they rowed together out to the house. The house is in bad shape. Every piece of glass broken. Some graffiti and some of you look interested. Yeah. I've just pointed out I'm a coward, so yeah, I'm definitely not going to stay there. You all have a lovely time ghost hunting on that island. The ghost hunters, in fact, of Sci-Fi Network came out here, spent 2 nights on the island, came back with what they said was definitive proof of intelligent haunting. And those people are being dropped off to go stay there right now. Don't do it! Goodbye, forever.
The one with the head of supposed picture? No,
I
that was in
know.
Florida, actually.
There's some people there. They're probably staying.
Well, I believe this place is haunted because it sits on the foundations of an old fort, and if you look past the dock where they're dropping those people off, that long, low roof line, the old barracks to a fort, there's a second building just like that behind there. When this fort was decommissioned in 1820, we'd already started building Fort Adams. So the cities of Newport and Jamestown told all the residents, if you have family members that you think are sick with cholera or dysentery, bring them out and put them into one of the rooms in the barracks and quarantine them until they're better. Here's the deal. If you have a waterborne illness, the last place you want to be left is on a tiny island with no fresh water to get better. Because all you get is deader. There are more than 200 people buried on that island, having been abandoned there by their families for having diarrhea. If that doesn't make you haunt a place, nothing's going to. And knowing that you see people have weddings out here is also pretty fun. This end of this island, known as Goat Island, is the unmarked graveyard of 27 pirates. Pirates we executed in July of 1723 for crimes against the crown. We saw a wedding happening over there yesterday. Last evening there was a bride and groom standing right over there getting married, and I was like, gross.
Shot!
I mean, it's pretty macabre when you think about it.
So
They're standing on the unmarked graves of 27 confessed murderers hanged in the largest mass execution in Rhode Island history. Their bodies then strung up by the R arm at the entrance to our harbor to serve as a warning to other pirates, don't come here anymore.
The little one.
There with the big push broom mustache on top.
What about the guy in the second deck? What was he? On his cell phone. The owner?
So, well, I don't know the owner.
Oh.
That was the captain. Yeah. Well, the captain is friends with that captain, yeah. The guy's name is Mark. He's the captain of that boat.